Oh, hey, what's going on, Freedom Fighters? Welcome back to another live stream here. It's not so late anymore. Today is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025, here on Break the Chains Media. We're just gonna be upfront and honest because right now, there is a just I can't keep coming up to you every day and be like, well, there's a new thing happening with the Epstein. No, it is what it is, folks. We have been bamboozled, we have been swindled, we have been shots across the bow from Trump administration, from Trump himself. Now he is basically calling any MAGA supporter, any Trump supporter who keeps talking about this, he's denouncing them. We're suddenly excommunicated from the MAGA movement because we still are talking about Epstein. Well, it doesn't really work that way, and people who want honesty and accountability from our elected officials, from people in government, from people in positions of power, that has no party affiliation. Like I've said many live streams before, MAGA is not unique to Trump. Trump, just because he branded the term MAGA, M-A-G-A, does not mean that making America great does not include holding elected officials accountable and calling out pedophiles and child trafficking and abuse of children. Like, that is pretty sure anyone could get behind that movement. The fact that we are sick and tired of being sold a pig in a poke, sold a lie, being shot down the river, just kicked off, thrown out with the bathwater, so to speak. As soon as he got elected, he was like, I'm just going to do whatever I want now. It's fine. And now it's time to create my legacy. We're going to do it's going to be the best, biggest, and most beautiful legacy ever. Meanwhile, it all comes back to Iran. It comes back to the war with Iran, the war with Palestine and Israel. Like, there has been a pivotal shift in who Trump is. I would say the last 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, there has been a fundamental change in the Trump that was running for office and the Trump that got into office. And I hate to be, beating the same old drum, but I mean, the band The Who said it best. Meet the new boss, the same as the old boss. And we won't be fooled again, right? At least hopefully this will wake enough people up and to make sure people understand to make the right decisions moving forward, particularly now, because I still think that there is a larger threat to us right now, and it is coming from the left, and it is overt Marxism and the takeover of this country via communist legislators and Marxist narratives being projected into our state and local and county level offices, which are going to then take over state and then national offices. This is a real concern. But right now we are all very perturbed with the way Trump is handling it. I mean, he is literally, like, it's almost incredible how stupendously idiotic he's being when it comes to handling and the discussion, just the PR level of the fact that the Epstein files and the Epstein situation is extremely important to not just the MAGA base or the conservative base, but people across the spectrums, like people on all spectrums, even the liberals. Everyone is like, yeah, pedophiles shouldn't be involved with government. Like, pretty simple. But we are going to get into that, and like, I don't want to continue handing out black pills, so I'm trying to find silver linings in all of this, and how we as freedom-loving, truth-seeking individuals in this fifth generational war, we are going to persevere. We will make it through this storm. This is just the beginning of the unveiling of what I arguably will be a much more esoteric and biblical, on the scale of biblical level, war and disclosure, if you will. I think a lot of psychological, a lot of emotional, a lot of political, cultural, a lot of walls are being rattled right now. A lot of positions of power are being reshuffled and restructured, and there is a larger global agenda happening right now, and it's all there for those that have eyes who see, because there is a psychological warfare happening right now, and you have to be aware of what's really going on. But if this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, we are going to get into that later, but if this is the first time, hit that thumbs up button. Join me on Rumble, join me on X, join me on YouTube. Break the Chains Media, Break the Chains M on X, Break the Chains Media on Instagram. Hit that thumbs up button, follow the channel. We do live streams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. I've been moving them earlier and earlier into the day. I feel like it works out. Strangely, it works out a little bit nicer, a little bit easier, not just with my schedule, but I feel like a little bit more people are available in the chat or available to watch these earlier shows. And you can also have all afternoon or evening to watch them once you get home if it happens to be later. But either way, I try to put out at least 2 to 3 videos a week, trying to give you the rundown, trying to give you the TLDR of what's really going on, and my personal take on things. And I spin it a little different than most Politico pundits, because I see things that there's happenings going on right now which I think are a little bit more esoteric, a little bit higher dimensional, a little bit more in the realm of, some would call it like conspiracy or religious. I mean, we are living in a very pivotal and awakening. The time is now to awaken to this level of deceit and corruption and control. And the globalists are the globalists only have 5 years to complete their Agenda 2030 narrative. And like, when I say complete, it's not like January 1st, 2030, suddenly everything's going to be perfect as far as the globalists are concerned. Because they do want the live in the pod, eat the bugs, you'll own nothing, cars will be rental. Like, our economy is shifting. You know, a lot of people talk about the attention economy. Or the information economy, where people, like, you know, you want to sit and have conversations, talking or sharing discussions, and grasping and holding on to attention, right? That is the way people get paid in the years to come. But the bigger thing is that you'll own nothing. Government will be able to rent in and out cars. You'll be approved or denied. What your daily allotment is, or how far you could travel. I mean, we're talking full dystopian level shit. But this is all predicated on the fact that they need to destroy the current system. They have to destroy the current system to then usher in their new system. And it's very difficult to, unless you get the population in support of fundamental structural change, it's going to be very difficult to usher in. Now, I think this fundamentally has the Epstein files has a fundamental point to play in all of this structural shift in politics, in government. The fact that so many people, the public, want these files released, and even though Trump, I am rambling. Let's before I keep delving and just keep rambling on, because I always ramble. Everyone in the chat, if I start rambling, just tell me, focus, stay on topic. All right, I've got these videos to show you, and then we'll get into the little bit of more of the esoteric stuff later. But let's check out this video, because this is what really like prompted me to really have these kind of like epiphany moments, right? So let's listen to this.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand
he absolutely
what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things. The Steele dossier, which
coping
was
and
fake.
seething.
All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's
pretty boring
and I don't
stuff.
understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this. Okay. This is the Department of Commerce Secretary, or the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Okay, Howard Lutnick. Lutnick and Epstein were next-door neighbors, direct next-door neighbors on Manhattan's Upper East Side for years. Epstein owned the townhouse, 9 East 71st Street, massive property, referred to one as the largest private residences in New York City. Lutnick resided at the adjacent 11 East 71st Street, okay, in 98. Properties physically touch, leading to descriptions of their proximity as too close for comfort. This adjacency persisted during Epstein's ownership of his property until his death in 2019. So that's just one little aspect. Howard Lutnick, okay? Howard Lutnick is also, he's with Trump right now because he is the Secretary of Commerce, okay? And what is the Secretary of Commerce? As far, I feel like a few weeks ago I spoke on the Department of Commerce being the department who gains 10 years of unfettered AI architecture and infrastructure with the big beautiful bill. Okay, let's take a step back. Let's say, okay, you have the Department of Commerce going to be in charge of restructuring AI architecture infrastructure for the Department of Commerce with the big beautiful bill. Howard Lutnick is now in charge. He's in charge, the Secretary of Commerce. He is the one making the decisions in the department. Howard Lutnick is longtime friends with Trump, longtime neighbors with Epstein. Okay? Howard Lutnick. Okay? Howard Lutnick's ties to Jeffrey Epstein comes under scrutiny. This is published today from Newsweek. From Newsweek. It's trash, but it brings it into general very good knowledge here. Okay? Howard Lutnick's real estate ties to financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, once again drawing scrutiny given the Commerce Secretary's apparent support for Donald Trump's dismissal, right? Here's the thing. Actually, everyone is calling out Howard Lutnick, okay? Remember that name, Howard Lutnick. Just like I wanted you guys to remember Leslie Wexner's name. Just like I remember, what's her name? Susan Wiles. There are key players in this administration or involved with this administration right now, or involved with Epstein, unique intimate ties with Epstein and this administration right now. We cannot dismiss this as no big deal. It's no big deal. Okay? I already went over that. So they had properties next door. I think what's really happening here is Epstein was more than just a blackmail extortionist. He was he moved money around. He was in charge of handling and administrating a financier, of connecting people with other people who have money or have ties. And on top of that, the blackmail went into money, right? The Epstein backlash has the power to hurt Trump badly and far, far away from the largest protest. And look, dude, this whole Epstein thing is going to tank Trump's polling. Okay? Going to tank Trump's approval rating. So there is no. I mean, Newsweek is trash. Look at how terrible these Newsweek articles look. I mean, it's painful to look at. Yeah. So Howard Lutnick, very interesting fellow to be associated. He's in the Trump administration right now, and he's been ties with Epstein. Not only that, but you also had Acosta. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. So in 2008, Epstein got a sweetheart deal with. Where's the attorney's Acosta? Where is it? Jim Acosta? Is it Jim Acosta? Alex Acosta. Sorry. I always mix up. So this is Alex Acosta, okay? Labor Secretary Alex Acosta stands with President Trump. Okay? Acosta has been under fire for his role in the Jeffrey Epstein plea deal over a decade ago when he was U.S. Attorney in Florida. Okay? So Alex Acosta was in the first Trump administration. Alex Acosta also, yeah, this was written in 2019. This is an older article from 2019, but it's talking about Jeffrey Epstein's 2008 sweetheart deal, and the fact that back then in 2008, with the Florida hearing, Alex Acosta, who was the U.S. Attorney General in South Florida at the time, was on Epstein, was investigated with Epstein crimes, causing a firestorm of backlash. Who resigned in disgrace. That was the first admin. So Trump's first admin, Acosta was a part. So Trump has had people in his orbit who have had unique and very close ties with Epstein. Okay? This is from 2019. How was Acosta involved? Prosecutors had identified 36 victims of Epstein, most of whom had no knowledge of the plea deal and had no opportunity to give inputs to the case. It had appeared little out of character for Acosta, who was known to push for longer sentences. However, it was a meeting with Epstein's lawyer attorney, Jay Leifkowitz, who had allegedly smoothened the deal. According to an investigation by Miami Herald, Julie K. Brown and the two former colleagues, who had their careers rooted in Washington-based Kirkland and Ellis and met in the Marriott Hotel, at the time, Herald reports, Leifowitz's wealthy client faced 53-page federal indictment and could have ended up in federal prison for the rest of his life. This is Epstein back in the 2008 deal. Acosta had not denied meeting with the attorney, but has insisted that he met him after the deal had been already brought through. However, the negotiation had still been going on, Brown had said. Acosta said that the meeting had happened over breakfast, took place in October. Epstein's deal struck in September, he said. However, the deal had been pled many times by his lawyers until June. Okay. What was the plea deal? A Washington Post in-depth pieces alleges Acosta had been scared of the consequences that would come if he brought Epstein to justice, something he was supposed to do. He suffered the kind of pressure only a rich and powerful man could generate, the pressure exerted through political, financial, and emotional means. The article also said that Acosta and his team knew about the, quote, massages, and they knew that Epstein and his legal team were lying. So Epstein, so here's the funny thing. I bring up the Acosta thing. I bring up in 2008, okay? This Epstein from 2008. And before that, I think it was 2001 when he was caught the very, very first. He was caught in like 2006, early mid 2000s. Okay, point I'm trying to make, folks, is that when Donald Trump says we need to stop talking about Epstein or let go of Epstein, give it up. This is insane because Epstein has been a talking point for almost 15 years. This is ridiculous. So we're going to go to this. Okay? Owen Schroyer, and I am Owen Schroyer is based, epic, legendary, a true warrior for truth, a true warrior for freedom, true info warrior, legendary. Okay, Owen Schroyer here. Breaking. President Trump calls Jeffrey Epstein list a hoax and says those still talking about it are no longer his supporters. Okay? What a tone-deaf response and behavior. Trump is literally shitting the bed so hard right now. Okay? The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, laptop from hell. Democrats swore it come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam, all totally fake, made up history in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats good at. It's all they have. They have no good governing. They have no good policy. They have no good at picking winning candidates. Okay? All of that has points of truth. The fact that the Democrat Party is in disarray, the fact that the Democrat Party is in shambles right now is accurate, and they have to lie, cheat, and steal to win. All of that is accurate and valid. However, to lump in the Epstein files and the Epstein case as part of that, as part of its fake and a conspiracy theory and made up by Comey and Clinton and the Democrats, another scam, that is fundamentally bullshit. The fact that I just brought up the fact that that Alex Acosta and Howard Lutnick and all of these people in Trump's orbit are all also conveniently in Epstein's orbit as well. And Epstein has also been in very many's president and Democrat orbits as well for many years. So for Trump to say it's crazy to keep talking about Epstein it's utterly. It's an insult. It's an insult, and it's a blatant disrespect for Trump to even to assume that just because we're still talking about Epstein and we want the truth and we want people to be brought to justice does not mean we don't want to make America great. That is part of making America great again. Is that not honest right there? Like, in order to make America great again, we need to get rid of pedophiles and evil people and blackmail and extortion and money fixers and foreign government interests and intelligence gathering out of American politics, out of American corruption. Get this out of American government, so we have a government that's all and honest and represents the voice of the people, not the voice of the globalists. That's where we're at right now, folks. Their new scam is that we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters have bought into this, quote, bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years and 8 more successes in 6 months than perhaps in our entire country's history. Bullshit. And these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and success-starved Dems, the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Suck a bag of dicks. Sorry, not sorry. That's some thick, spoon-fed bullshit. What a wild fucking timeline. Going this level to call out those still vocal about Epstein. This is bullshit. We will always continue talking about this. This will never go unchecked. Okay? And look, Nick Sorter brings it up. Okay? 2 things can be true. You can support President Trump and demand transparency in the Epstein case. Don't let people around here bully you into thinking you have to pick one or the other. Okay? There are so many people right now online that are basically blindly following Trump. It doesn't matter. MAGA and Trump can do nothing can ever go wrong. And I say bullshit to that. I've been calling Trump out like pretty recently. Well, let's be fair. I have called out politicians for doing bullshit things. I call out politicians for doing good things. When AOC was trying to cap interest rates, I thought that was a good thing. I don't think credit card companies should be capping interest rates. However, I don't like government involvement with when we start dealing with markets. But that's beside the point. But I can call a president out. I can call someone who I voted for out when they're doing bullshit. Okay, when I did not at all like when he bombed Syria back in his first administration. The Tomahawk missiles back in the first administration, okay? Drone strikes, I don't like that. I don't like the B-2 bombing of Iran. I don't like going to war on behest of Israel. But ever since Iran, ever since the whole Gaza debacle with Israel and Gaza, and then I get it, dude. There's so many things that Trump wants to achieve and Trump wants to accomplish, whether it's stopping the war in Ukraine or stopping the war in Gaza. But at this rate, he ain't doing shit. He's giving more weapons to Ukraine. He's supporting the war in Israel. Now Israel just today, right? Didn't they attack Somalia or Syria? I can't remember. It was I think it was Syria. But that's all new information breaking today. But we can criticize Trump. We can criticize our elected officials because that is what we are supposed to do as Americans. We have to call out bullshit when we see it. We have to say that is not acceptable behavior for an elected official. Okay? Bill Clinton flying on the Lolita Express is not acceptable behavior. Okay? What was it? 13 times Bill Clinton went on the Lolita Express? This is the shit, right? Because we're never going to get the truth about Epstein. So when Trump says to stop talking about it, I see the logic in that. Here's a good take. Owen Benjamin's got a great take. Here, let's check it out. Okay. Owen Benjamin. The psyop around Epstein files is to get millions of people to verbally ask for and want to see videos of adults abusing children. Take a step back and realize how dark and twisted that is, the potential damage that does to the person asking to see the pedo stuff. Okay? No one's ever asked for it. The thing is I've many different people is like that's not what we're looking for. We are looking to get to hold the evil people accountable, right? So I say there are multiple layers to the Epstein onion. This is a valid take. We don't want to see this type of stuff. We want to see justice and eliminating corruption from within the government. That's what we really want. We really have to strive for exposing our government for the evil types of people that they are. Okay? Yeah, just look at the way Howard Lutnick is staring at Trump to make sure he says the right thing. Okay? Say what we told you to say. You better say the right thing. Like, why is it so obvious? Like, I see this plain as day. Why is this guy, like, now we have people keeping him in check, right? All right. My struggle is that we are never going to see the truth come out. So all we have to do is continually hold our elected officials, like, hold ourselves accountable to make sure that this type of shit doesn't continue. This type of shit doesn't persist, okay? A Quinnipiac poll, 63% of voters disapprove of the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Nearly half of voters would consider joining a third party, just not one created by Elon Musk. 17% of voters say that they approve of the way the Trump administration is handling the Jeffrey Epstein files. Okay? Only 17% of voters say they approve of the way Trump's handling it. Like, Trump is literally, like, Trump has made the most spectacularly politically retarded moves in history. Like, he's doing a fantastic job epically fucking this whole thing up. Like, it's almost like he's planning, like he wants to do it this bad. It's crazy. But folks, I'm gonna cut this one a little short because I feel like I'm rambling and I don't want to ramble. But what we have to be aware of and we have to understand what's happening right now is that we are seeing the collapse unfold in real time. I feel like we are going to see the MAGA base is all but crumbling. It's all but dissolving around. Like it is remarkable the levels of infighting and the infallible. There's the group of Trump can do no wrong, infallible God King. We're here to fix the country, and I understand that to an extent, but there's only so much that I can respect. I mean, like. I voted for immigration. I voted for closed borders. I voted for, lowering taxes. I voted for aspects of these things, right? I did not vote for a administration to openly and so blatantly cover up one of the largest and most prolific blackmail extortionists, money fixer, financier, whatever the case may be. I did not vote for the Jeffrey Epstein case to just to say, forget about it, everything's done, nothing ever happened. And I genuinely think, the more I think about it, the more I stew about it, Dan Bongino and the FBI, Kash Patel, in terms of need to know when it comes to levels like this, the FBI probably knows the least. Like, Dan Bongino is most likely... And as far as Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, and I'm telling you right now, and I stand by this, they were picked because they were the most vocal. They were the most vocal opponents of this, and then they put them in this position to shut them up. Okay? Because now they're in these positions, the head of the FBI, the deputy director of FBI, now they represent the FBI, so now they cannot say anything that is not credibly verifiable fact, data-driven evidence behind the FBI. Because if they say anything else, if they say anything hypotheticals or hearsay or theories, like we all resort back to Dan Bongino talking on Timcast about the he was a Middle Eastern intelligence asset. Now that Bongino is in this position, the deputy director position, now that Patel is in the director position of the FBI, officially positioned in the federal government, now they can't speak their own mind. Now they have to adhere to their job description, and I think the FBI is the lowest ring on the alphabet agency totem pole. Or the IC, like all of this stuff, because you have CIA probably knows way more about Epstein. The Department of National Intelligence knows way more about Epstein. It's more of a foreign affairs, international community, like intel community internationally, right? It's not the FBI. The FBI is national police, right? I just genuinely think that the FBI has the least information about Epstein out of all of it, out of the NSA, out of the DHS. Many different places are going to have the ODNI, right? These are going to be places that have more intelligence regarding Epstein. And like I said, I genuinely think that Epstein worked. He wasn't tied to any specific government. He was working with every government, right? Like on behest of everyone. He was the one working with everything, right? And I truly believe that the more people get hung up on this, the longer we're going to see this slow motion train wreck unfold as far as the Trump administration. I mean, it goes without saying the attacks with Iran was terrible. The defending of Israel is horrible. This is not what we voted for. The funding of military aid to Ukraine is bullshit. Okay, the big beautiful bill was a sack of shit. A lot of horrible, terrible things, and now I think we are genuinely in the end game. We have 5 years until 2030, and the globalists want to push their agenda. And I think what is really happening right now is Trump is making deals, because he's a deal maker. Trump's making deals with the globalists, saying, "Hey, you give me peace. You give me let me end the war in Ukraine. Give me a Nobel Peace Prize. Let me end the war in Gaza. Like, let me do things to build up the Trump legacy, because Trump's a narcissist. Trump's a megalomaniac. Trump is focusing in on himself. He rode in on our backs. He rode in like people went to jail for Trump. The J6ers. Okay, so many people lost so many things for supporting this man, and people lost friendships. People lost family members. Like, there has been a decades-long struggle trying to support what appeared to be the most anti-establishment populist president to get into elected office. Now that he's in office, he's making deals. He's part of the system. He's not draining the swamp. He's just redirecting the fucking flow of traffic in the swamp. He's just rearranging some of the logs and, like, you know, making sure this alligator hangs out over here and you got snapping turtles over. He's just adding different aesthetics to the DC swamp at this rate. And I am really disheartened, because I think he took a lot of he took a lot of us for granted. I mean, he spoke words that we wanted to hear about draining the swamp, taking on the deep state, but now he is, in fact, I think, part and parcel working with them. Maybe hasn't always has been, but I think he is now making deals and working, because he is now uniquely tied with the release of the Epstein files, with the release of this type of information. I mean, it's never going to come out. And even if it does come out, it's not going to be what people want. But I don't know. We're going to keep stewing about this. We're going to keep thinking about this. But leave your thoughts in the comments. I kind of just rambled. I might throw another short video up. Now that I have this multi-streaming thing and I can just kind of blast on whatever I want at any time, it's going to be a lot easier for me to put out videos. But, folks, I appreciate you joining me on this short Wednesday live stream here on Break the Chains Media. Hit the thumbs up button. Share this with everyone. If you have any thoughts, follow me on X, Break the Chains M. We can have a conversation there. I appreciate you. I love you. And as always, never give up and fight for freedom.